This week, we talk about Hollywood actor transformations and why you'll never look like Thor. Also, we'll take the mystery out of PSMF and check in to see if I'm any less fat. Let's get into it.
You speak for yourself, by the way.
I'm Josh. My pronouns are he, him, Zoltron, and Big Dick Alpha Daddy. That's Dewey. They's pronouns are he, him, Z, Zer, Xanadu, and assistant to the regional manager of Jawline.
I like that. Oh, shit. You're in IT and you came into a rim shot.
Oh, shit.
Assistant to.
Assistant to the regional manager of Jawline.
I like that. Do I get cards?
Oh, fuck.
Speak for yourself, by the way, on that you'll never look like Thor. Fuck off.
Hey. Well, we're going to get into that in a bit here.
If you've noticed, our calves are the same.
Right. Yes. Well, I'm working on his hair.
Yeah.
I can get there. I'm CEO of Hairline. All right. I do have one correction from last week.
Not doing middle parts anymore. Haven't you heard?
Right. Just what I do. We had a listener reach out, and because last week we talked about weed, right? And if it affected fitness. And she made a good point, which was we should clarify this is for people of adult age, right?
Nobody else is listening. It is a good point.
Well, it's one thing I didn't.
If you are of age and in a state that allows it.
Well, and not even so much legally, but because the development of the brain is still going on.
Oh,
and you know, it might
same reason you shouldn't drink.
Exactly. So just to clarify, you know, we were talking about legal age adults, and I agree with that. Well, I mean, in my personal opinion is, you know, I'm not going to ever touch this stuff. I don't think. But as a libertarian,
you left that door open.
As a libertarian, I don't want to tell anybody else not to. But you know, I would tell parents to keep it away from your kids.
Right.
It's not licensed to go get hammered on the weed when you're 15.
See, I'm not good at this radio stuff, so I assume that went without saying, but evidently not.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, probably because we're talking about, you know, teenagers drinking and that kind of stuff, so that, you know, it just kind of folds into that. So that is not a recommendation at all.
No.
All right, well, let's get into this news story here. They're coming after our meat, Dewey. The Russians. They're coming after our meat.
Oh, it's the vegans.
It's the Russian vegans.
It's all the vegans. Do
you think there is any Russian vegans?
This is an actual Russian hacking scam.
Yeah, isn't this crazy? Like, this is the new.
It's not them.
It's not. You know, it's not a guy driving a truck through a barricade anymore. Or
they warned us.
Yeah,
they warned us that it's all going to be cyber.
It's nutty. I mean, if you're going to attack a country now, you go after the power grid, you go after, you know, the defense
industry.
Right, exactly.
That's the problem. But guess what?
The infrastructure.
Guess what? Our government just sits back and says, "Oh, it's a bunch of them gamers having fun in their basement." Right. They don't think that this isn't fucking Putin, like, to the core, like state sponsored.
Right.
They're stupid.
And
of course it is.
And no matter who it is, it's scary how disruptive it is. Basically, I saw that if this JBS facility or this company is shut down for one day, it's like, I don't know, a large percentage of our meat processing.
I can just see the boardroom with Putin, and they're on the phone with the Biden administration, on the phone to the White House, and they go like this, and Putin's like, "We will get to the bottom of this. This will not be tolerated." And then he goes like this, hits mute, and goes,
right, nah.
We are the bottom of it.
No shit.
That's state sponsored.
Well, then
you can't convince me that I'm wrong.
Oh no. And I mean, you think if he's not lying to Biden, I mean, come on. I mean, the guy was ex-KGB. I mean, he knows.
He lies to everybody.
He knows. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah, it says JBS handles roughly 20% of America's beef and pork production, lead to concern about a potential spike in prices during the short term.
just in time for the summer season.
Yeah.
Pay $14
says-
for your ribeye.
There could be a steep rise in costs during the barbecue season. Yep, exactly right.
I should have wrote that.
That's crazy. I mean,
I didn't mean I was going to say an ounce.
and we're worried about Bill Gates buying up all the farmland and using it for crops for Impossible Whoppers and stuff. And then you got this side of it of them actually shutting
It's a
down
distraction.
meat production. I mean,
You were all spun up about Billy.
Oh,
Billy
Gates.
Gates and his
Dr. Evil Billy G.
and has taken over the world. And here in the meantime, there's people actually doing it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're hitting it from all sides. They're going to make it harder for us to produce meat, and then they're disrupting the actual existing.
They're going to make it harder for us to buy meat.
Yeah. So,
We just have to make our own.
put your tinfoil hats on and well, you don't, it's not even a conspiracy. I mean, they're out there saying they're going to do it.
Right.
And then they did it. And then they're like double middle fingering us, like, what are you going to do?
Oh, speaking of, I'll pass.
Of what?
Now, speaking of that, just middle finger and look what we did. Well, by the way, you still owe us whatever we determined to be the ransom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is one of those ransomware attacks, right? Where they said, we're going to hold your network hostage until you pony up.
And I talked to some web nerds, and I said, just speak English, not that nerd shit. And
Right.
they said it's literally impossible for them to do anything other than just pay the ransom.
Oh, you mean there's no way to brute force their way out of it
Yep.
through using our super
Yeah.
nerds to counteract?
Yeah. And
Right.
people who think that that's how it works have watched too many movies.
Or that would even be worth doing when,
Oh, right.
yeah, just the quickest route back to viability is just to pay it, unfortunately.
And see, it's the perfect business model.
Which sucks because you
these-
don't want to ever give in to terrorists because that just encourages more terrorism, right?
But here's the problem. If you don't give in to them, then you'll never get it back. And it's a perfect business model on their part because what do they do when they get paid? They give them their system back.
Right.
So if
So it
they
actually
go
works,
to
yeah.
if they go to Josh Incorporated and take your system and hijack your shit, you know that, all right, well, what if we give them $10 million and they don't give it back? Well, they will.
Right.
That's their MO. That's their business model.
Right. Because if they didn't, then you would never pay
Right.
because you just go, well, my shit's gone anyways.
Yep. So they're pretty savvy.
Speaking of, have you ever read the book Never Split the Difference by
Yep.
Chris Voss?
Yep.
He's a hostage negotiator for
Yep.
was it the FBI or something?
And I begrudgingly read it the whole time because one of my favorite closes in sales was always, I tell you what, let's split the difference.
Right.
All the time.
Yes.
It'd come down to $1 million combine deal and the farmer would be griping about a few $100. And I'd be like, tell you what,
Yeah.
let's split it.
Yep.
And it worked every time.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it was never substantial. So part of that book, I'm like, I'm sorry, you may be a former FBI negotiator, but
Well, his whole argument in that book is you can't split a hostage. It's
right,
Either you get them
right.
back 100%.
Either you win or
don't.
you lose. 100. Yeah, it's binary.
Yep.
But a lot of gray area in sales.
Right. Exactly.
And that was a sales book.
Well, one of the surprising things about that, just him telling the tale of hostage negotiation, is how many times they do actually pay.
Oh, right.
Like, or companies or countries
Yep.
will actually pay. And, you have this perception that never bargain on, we never give in to terrorists, never
Hollywood.
bargain.
Hollywood taught us that.
But they actually do because sometimes it's just, unfortunately, the easiest way to do it. The sad part about that is, though, that just encourages it. It's a legitimate business model, like in Venezuela.
Absolutely.
Colombia. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, kidnap anybody that's rich or from a rich country that
Yep.
has the means to pay back, and it's a complete business
Well, that's why
model.
they have an army surrounding their kids. And
Oh, yeah, you have to. Crazy shit. So they're coming after our meat, man. I don't like it. I do not
yeah, and this
like
is
it.
going to, I tell you what, Bill Gates doing all his little bullshit isn't going to move the needle, but this will.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Because I'm eating relatively low fat right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I were going to cheat
right.
and get some beef, I won't now because it's going to be $40 a pound.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So that's a scary story there. So I found this funny meme about the vegan dogs.
It's not funny. It's sad.
It says, And for the people listening, it has a dog next to a lady and a guy cutting a steak, and he says, he wants my steak. And the girl says, no, he doesn't like meat. We are both vegan. And the dog's holding up a sign that says, save me from this crazy bitch. Oh, yeah. Anybody that thinks, and we talked about this on our vegan episode, but anybody that thinks that your cat or dog is vegan, you're just forcing it on them. You are wrong, baby.
You need to. I want to have a conversation with you because I'm pretty sure this is a front and it's just a bit, or you're fucking insane.
Oh, but if you're ideologically super vegan and you think it's the best diet for all the reasons you think it is, why would you not carry that over to your cat?
Because they're
or
not
dog?
fucking human.
Yeah, but
They're not human. They eat meat. That's what they do.
But the best thing for every species.
They don't believe that. There are such a thing as carnivores.
And they equate,
they just don't think
they feed them table food. And I mean, if you don't think a dog's going to wolf down your French fries, of course they will, right?
Right.
So they just think, well, they love my French fries. They'll also love my tofu, my pancakes, my whatever, all this vegan food, which they will because dogs will wolf down stuff.
Anything. Yeah.
But what is a species appropriate diet? Meat.
Raw meat.
And I even feel bad. Like I was telling my wife the other day, like, because, we just buy whatever standard dog food. I'm like, why are we doing this? We should just buy some raw ground beef or some like old butcher leavings.
People do.
Some butcher leavings.
Because I've always wanted to do, start over.
You're a good talker.
Talking hard. I wanted to get a German Shepherd forever.
Right.
And they're too cool now. So fuck all those people that made them cool. Because I just wanted one, but now they're $10,000. Right. And I researched and for the first, if you get a really, really purebred German Shepherd, for the first year, you have to feed them raw meat.
Oh.
Raw chicken, bone on, bone in.
Like just for their maximum development or whatever,
Yep.
It's their health.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. It means we need to stop cooking shit too.
Right.
But yeah, did you know, probably, I'm always the last to know, that, how they always say, don't give your dog a chicken bone. They can choke.
Oh,
only cooked.
The shards.
Only cooked.
Oh, because they get too brittle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
raw is, no, they're just soft when they're raw.
Right. So you can just toss a
whole chicken and they just
and just go nuts on it. And how freaking happy would your dog be?
Amazing. I've watched somebody do it.
Versus the kibble that you give them now. The
versus that's McDonald's
chunks.
You give them McDonald's.
Exactly.
Yep. So I watched a German Shepherd eat like these full wings with the leg on it, or the thigh and the leg when they're still connected.
Oh, yeah.
And he put like 3 of them in the dog's bowl.
Oh.
And they were gone in 6 seconds. It was so satisfying to watch that.
Yeah, it's just pure primal urge.
That's my spirit animal.
Right. Pure primal urge. All right, I saw another meme that was funny. After 6 weeks, $140 in supplies, and daily watering, we're only 3 to 4 weeks away from enjoying a single 25-cent vegetable from our garden. I don't get gardening, okay? I mean,
for a whole row of radishes that I'm going to eat by Friday.
I don't understand it. I mean, unless you just love the act of it.
That's what it is.
If it's your meditation, if it's
therapeutic,
if it's your yoga.
Yep.
But why would you take up half your yard, plant some stuff that, all in all, the return on investment sucks? You'd be way better off just buying the shit.
Because they can.
Working 1 hour a week to buy the stuff from the store.
Right.
Unless you think, I guess, it's healthier or something because you're not using pesticides or whatever.
So if you don't use pesticides, then bugs will eat it.
Well, that's true. Then it's going to be gone anyways. But yeah, I don't understand gardening. Explain it to me.
I do. I would. I'd have a garden. But I'd only have a garden if we lived in the country and it was like sizable. Like you needed a small lawn tractor to till it.
And what's the goal? Are you trying to actually replace the things that you're buying at the store?
Sure.
Like
cucumbers.
Yield the things that
cucumbers and make pickles.
Would consume.
I'd pickle a lot. Pickle jalapenos, onions, cucumbers.
And the time you spent doing that, wouldn't it be better just to spend half that time at work and then pay for it? Return on your time is not worth it.
Oh, you're overlooking one super important thing. Those pickles I make, you ain't buying those in the store.
Too good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Oh. And if someone likes gardening, I get it.
And they do.
If you just enjoy
They don't do it. Well, they don't fucking do it because they hate it.
But don't tell me that you're doing it because you say, well, some people feel like, oh, I got to labor over this because I got to save this money.
Nah, I don't know anybody that does that.
For economic reasons, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
No.
Don't make no sense. All right.
Because I'd tell them to stop being stupid.
Here's another one that's kind of funny. It says ribbons.
Don't even get
The
me
only
started.
thing that's ever the only things that ever get cut at Planet Fitness. No, I can't talk good.
Or ribbons.
Ribbons. People hate on Planet Fitness. You notice that?
Nobody more than me. I despise Planet Fitness.
I've never even been in one, so I can't.
I haven't either.
I can't.
It's a business model that works because people don't.
So they're counting
I
on.
just did that right off the top of my
That was
head.
good. That was, yeah, that was hefty. So their whole business model is
It's like they remember.
just like their members. That's good. For those who missed that, I said that's hefty, and he said just like their members. So yeah, their whole thing depends on people signing up and never going.
Yeah, well, they have to
Well,
because
that's
for $20 a month,
It's every Globo gym, right?
it is.
Yeah.
And you know what the point is because you know why they priced it? I've done enough research on this. You know why they price it at $20 to $25? Because it's the exact reimbursement from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh, so people can
So
just
it's free.
go, right? Because people just go, well, my insurance covers X amount of health costs or whatever.
Yep. And I saw
Fitness.
it. We did belong to Anytime Fitness, and I sat outside of Anytime Fitness on a work call one time, waiting to go in and work out. And I'm watching people come up to the door because it's 24-hour access. So I'm watching them park in their car, jump out, run out in their slippers, and go boop, and get back in their car and leave.
Do you have to verify you go?
You
in
have
order
to-
for them to keep paying?
Yep. You have to get a printout
shit.
from the gym that says that you went at least like 10 or 15 times a month.
Oh, see, but they need to have you fob in and fob out.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
See, that would be the true test.
Because you could say, you don't fob out though.
Or
You
somebody
open
pushed the door open and I walk behind them. Or yeah, they should make you
So
fob
you're saying
out.
they should make you? Okay,
They should. Yeah, they should make you check in and check out. So like you're there for 45 minutes or,
Right.
because if all you have to, it's kind of like when you have unemployment and they make you look for a job.
Did I tell you that?
And then you
story?
have the people that go up to McDonald's and say, I need an application. And, they're never going to actually
No.
fill it out. They just got the application and they just kind of fill it out half-ass and turn it in just so they can
A guy walked
say
into
that
my
they did
office
it.
the other day, 70 years old, hands me an application, resume. He said, "Here, I have to do 5 of these a month." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm days away from retiring, and I live 50 miles away. I'm not." And I'm like, "We could use some help." He goes, "No, I'm not looking for a job." Right.
He's got the cross out.
Yep.
Get away.
And I'm like, "All right, sir, you paid your dues. Carry on." Saluted him.
That's funny.
But no, Planet Fitness is the bane of my existence. The whole business model is to make sure that let's put it this way, they couldn't fit half their members in their gyms.
Into a medium t-shirt.
No, into their gyms if they were shoulder to shoulder through the entire gym.
Oh, right. Right.
Because they have so many members at
They have
$25.
Yeah, they have to oversell.
Yep.
They're only counting on a tiny percentage of people actually showing
And
up.
it's still empty.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, funny. Isn't that
How
the
do we,
place?
how do we change that though?
Isn't that the place where they serve?
Donuts
Pizza
on
and shit.
Tuesdays. Yeah, it's Self-Esteem Thursday or whatever the hell it's called.
Well, and that's the place where they kind of like shit on.
They do.
Like real
There's fit
weightlifters too,
shaming.
right?
Oh, they're fit shamers.
They have the
they get
they have
mad.
the lunk alarm, right?
Yeah,
Or
if you lift too
basically,
much
if
weight.
you walk in there with like a stringer.
You can't have cut off sleeves.
Oh god.
So what's
I'm
the
out.
point? What's the point of living?
Yeah. Right.
And you can't drop the weight. You can't grunt, and you can't.
What?
And get this. It's an actual rule. This is the one that's going to get you to go, what the? There's an actual rule that says you cannot carry an empty milk jug full of water around the gym.
What the hell?
Nope. That means you're too serious.
Are they just trying to be corny because that's a
No,
stereotype of bodybuilders?
those are the rules.
Or they really don't want to see it
They really don't want to see it because
they don't want your type of dude showing up there.
Right.
What the hell?
What do you mean, my type of dude? fuck is that supposed to be?
A Thor wannabe motherfucker.
With huge arms and tiny baby calves.
Right.
I'm working on them.
You're getting there. I saw this other meme that was pretty funny. Well, and actually scary because this is a real ad. It says, sugar just might be the willpower you need to curb your appetite. Have a soft drink before your main meal. And this is obviously from like the late 60s, early 70s maybe. It says, we know it sounds odd, but it can work. Spoil your appetite by eating something with sugar. Sugar works faster than any other food to turn your appetite down, your energy up. That's when mealtime comes. When mealtime comes, you're less apt to overeat.
That last sentence is what floors me.
Wow.
That last sentence says it all.
Willpower never tasted so good. Sugar, only 18 calories per teaspoon. And it's
all energy.
Wow.
Just say that slower to yourself. It's all energy.
I mean, they paid money to buy this ad. And people read this and went, yeah, sounds legit. And right on the opposite page was a which cigarettes are best for you ad. So I mean,
but the sequel folks will read. How's that wrong?
Right.
What in that statement is wrong?
Right.
It's just shut up.
Wow.
Kick you out of the gym like that deadlifter.
I mean, they literally got a straw and a freaking 7-Up.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm saying
it's so good.
I mean,
did they just your lips?
Not understand that it's going to awaken the cravings beast?
No, they didn't. They wouldn't have put the ad out.
Well, or are they just freaking lying their ass off because they're representing the Sugar Council or whatever?
They didn't know.
The Sugar Information Control.
They have sugar stock
panel or whatever the hell it is.
They have sugar coin.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah, it was a crazy time back then. That's amazing.
It was a weird time.
Amazing any of us survived.
Don't start, because then that's what people will say. Well, I drank out of the garden holes and had donuts. Look at me. I am.
Found this other article. Pretty interesting. About the maximum age humans can physically reach. Because I don't know if you follow these guys that focus on longevity.
All of them.
Yeah,
Peter Attia is a big one.
Peter Attia, and then, I mean, one of the main reasons resistance training
Rhonda Patrick.
You're right. Is we're trying to increase our health span, right? Not just the lifespan. So this is talking about just a theoretical exercise and what the maximum
and that's the
age.
point. You don't want to. Nobody wants to sit around shitting in a bag for 10 years because you managed to eke out another decade.
Right. Okay. Here's what it says. Researchers believe they have identified the upper limit of human mortality, 150 years old.
That's cool.
And Keith Richards is just about there.
He's went past that in the 90s.
He scoffs at it. I saw a funny meme the other day where it said it was Keith Richards holding a baby, and it says, picture of Keith Richards holding Betty White.
So when he actually does die, people are going to say he didn't. You watch.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Be like Elvis.
Yep. Okay, it says the current record for oldest human passed away in 1997 at 122. So that's the longest living person to date. So, I mean, that's insane, though.
Think of the genetic pinnacle you would have to reach to live to 150.
And that's her right there at 122.
She looks pretty happy still.
Yeah. Crazy.
She doesn't eat teaspoons of sugar.
Right. Just stave off her appetite.
Right.
So the theory is that it says at around 120 to 150 years old, the human body shows a complete loss of resilience, resulting in an inability to recover. So that's kind of what's at fault.
When you break it down, it doesn't come back.
Right. Like when we're trying to build muscle, you're making those tears in the tissue and all that, and just your normal aches and pains and things. Your body's always constantly repairing itself, recovering. That's why sleep is so important. But it seems like when you reach a certain age at around 120, your body says, F that, I'm done with that. I'm not doing that anymore. And then you start to just pretty much decay. Then it's just a matter of...
That's what dying is.
Right. And it's just a matter of which system shuts down first.
Right.
That kills you. You know.
And it's going to be your pancreas.
Right.
It's going to stop producing insulin.
Yeah. So And it talks about the rising trend of biohacking, using trendy age-defying practices to lengthen a lifespan. Biohackers have tried everything from fasting to injecting themselves with untested herpes medication.
Whoa.
And there's a real estate tycoon, claims his routine use of things like stem cell therapy and meditation inside a hyperbaric chamber have resulted in him having the biological age of a 5-year-old.
Hey, get your rim shot ready.
Okay, it's prepared.
Time will tell.
Exactly. I thought you were going to say that was his mental age.
Oh, no. I don't know.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, you're going to be proven right or wrong. Mm-hmm. You know, if you
some motherfucker's going to take a screenshot of that and wait for him.
If you croak at 52,
take it to his funeral.
Guess you were wrong, bro. Yep. Wow. Right. Yeah. Well, and you know, like, again, we always talk about lifespan versus health span. Yeah. Everybody wants to have quality of life. You don't want to be disabled. Like you said, you know, not being able to take care of your own bodily functions. You want to, you know, hopefully have mobility and for me, actually, cognitive function is you know, major. So there's nothing worse than seeing an old person in a state of decline. But I guess the upside is they don't know, maybe. But
you know what? One thing that keeps me up at night. Not really, it's a figure of speech.
Yes.
But the thought of being old and frail.
Yep.
And I know people my age that are frail.
Yeah.
I mean, not even 50. I mean, I won't even be 48 until the end of the summer.
Yep.
And they're frail. But my fear is being in a social setting and having to defend Mel's honor and not being able to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some punk kids, and you're like,
right,
you're fucking stand up to them, and you can't,
right?
Because they'll kill you.
Yes,
like just pushing you on the ground, you'll die.
Like for instance, if she's deadlifting and dropping the weight, and then some guy comes up.
I referenced that too, but I forgot that they didn't see that. Right. Go to the YouTube channel to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, we reacted to a guy getting kicked out of a gym for dropping a deadlift.
Oh, it'll boil your blood. But in that, similar. Right, you know, somebody's just like, hey, old man, these are our seats. Oh, and it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll knock you out.
You never want to have to back away because you feel like you're too weak.
Right.
Yeah. But and when you shouldn't be, when you're prematurely too weak. It's one thing if you're 80 or something.
Yeah, if you're 80, 90 years old and people want to be mean like that, hopefully there's some stand-up guys like us in the crowd that are going to go over there and squash that shit right away.
Although, one thing that I love watching on YouTube, if you search for like old guy kicks, knocks out young punk, and then you get some like old veteran that knows how to fight,
right?
And you know, some drunk.
I just can't trust any of that stuff anymore.
Well, yeah, you never know if it's staged, but some of them look pretty freaking legit,
right? And
you know, you can tell it's like security video. It's not.
Oh, right. Well, I could stage that too.
You could, but that's so awesome though.
Those are great.
When an old white bearded, you know, 65-year-old dude just crushes some young punk in a subway or something. Good stuff.
You know, and it's, I'm not going to go down the political route. I'm not, but I'm going to use a reference.
Yep.
White privilege. See,
oh boy.
I just thought of this.
Wait. No.
Oh shit! You need to practice your bank, your sound bank.
Wait, say it again.
I don't even remember what I said now.
White privilege.
Oh, it's not white privilege.
You said the words.
That was weak. I'll give you a pass though. You were fumbling around a little bit. It's. But I'm going to use a comparison to white privilege because people say white privilege doesn't exist, and the only people who say that are that don't understand how it works. But not going to go down that hole.
But I just have 18 minutes of rebuttal.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I do have?
Mm-hmm.
Muscle privilege. When we were watching that video before, I just thought of it. You're like, has anybody ever said anything to you at the gym? No. At the grocery store.
Because they don't want to get their ass kicked.
Right. And people have hey, you can't park like that, jackass. I get out of my car.
right.
They may have been coming over to say, hey, you can't park like that. And I get out and they're like,
Never mind, sir.
Forget it.
Go about your way.
right.
Go on your way.
So,
you know,
and I don't know it. So I'm like, no, none of that doesn't happen. Like white privilege.
Right.
That doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't happen to you.
right.
So I have muscle privilege.
That's good. You know, that actually did happen to me. Well, playing in bars for 30 years.
For sure.
We used to do a thing where we would it was called pollinating. So on break, we'd go around and talk to every table. It was like mandatory.
I thought you were crop dusting, like fart and walk by the table.
No, it was like mandatory. We have to walk around and talk to everybody on breaks just to try to get people on the mailing list, try to develop a following, right? That was back when we were young and we really cared.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
Right. One time I was talking to this, I don't know how it happened. Just a
Good way
table
to
of table of single ladies, right?
Yep.
I don't know how I ended up there. Just weird, you know. And all of a sudden this guy comes out, starts poking me.
Come on.
Right? Poking me in the chest. What are you doing talking to my wife?
Never happened to me.
Right. Yeah. Well, because I was 5'7"
Sure.
and 3/4 and way skinnier than now.
But that's back to the white privilege reference where I'm going to go, fuck you, that doesn't happen.
Right.
You're making that up.
No. But I gotta say, I've never been in an actual fight, like, you know, fisticuffs, but I actually disabled this guy and it was awesome. I totally I don't know where it came from. It was like Costanza doing the Rubik's Cube, you know, all of a sudden.
Because you haven't had sex in a month.
Right. He just had the power, you know, all of a sudden from somewhere within me. I got this guy into like what do they call that when you got him around the back?
Full Nelson.
Yeah. Up against the wall. I don't know how I did it. I turned him around and I was like lightning speed. And then the bouncers came over and threw him out.
Oh, and he was
So I was like,
shit faced. The easiest thing to do is beat
Hey.
up a drunk person.
hey,
when you're sober.
don't you
I like your story though.
don't take away my glory.
I'm not. It's good for you. I like that
He
story.
was
Fuck
way,
a bully.
He was way bigger than me.
Bully.
Way
So
bigger than
fuck
me.
him. Yeah. No,
Right.
I like your story.
And just because I was trying to have sex with his wife, that's no reason to get mad.
I would have had a funnier quip to him about his wife.
Oh, shit. All right.
I would have said, because she told me to come over here. And she said, hurry before he comes back. Dude, take it up with her, man.
Exactly. I used to always get the guys in the bathroom too, like, because, you know, I had super long hair
Oh, okay.
and I was pretty skinny. So
Yeah.
a lot of guys would walk in and go, "Oh, sorry, ma'am." You know, they would do that thing, but not even joking. Like,
That's awesome.
thought we were chicks.
Oh, yeah.
or,
You
you
had
know.
chick hair, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got in lots of confrontations about that.
You had Axl Rose hair.
Pretty much.
It's embarrassing.
All right. Well, let's get into our term here.
Uh-oh. What is it?
The PSMF, otherwise known as the protein sparing modified fast. Another term, I did not know what it meant. I've heard it bandied about and did not know what it was. So I had to look it up. Have you heard of this before? Yeah. Okay. So basically talks about there's a wide range of diets and eating patterns that gained popularity in recent years. High protein diets are particularly popular because of how effective they are. Now gets into the Ted Naiman, you know, the PE, you know, prioritizing the protein. So it says the protein sparing modified fast is no exception. Okay, so what is a protein sparing modified fast?
You will be hungry.
A very low calorie diet designed to help you lose lots of weight quickly. Protein sparing refers to the diet's main goal, which is to maintain muscle mass while losing fat. Well, that's everyone's goal, right?
Duh.
When they're trying to cut.
Right.
It's been around since the 70s when
Buy this car and get to drive it too.
Right. When physicians began researching the diet as a way to help severely obese patients lose weight. So this is kind of, remember a few episodes ago when that guy did the 300 plus days fast and
didn't eat.
dropped like 200 pounds or whatever. And all he did was have some minerals and liquids. So that's kind of what this is. It's a really calorie restricted, but you are trying to maintain some lean muscle mass while only losing fat. And I think what they're trying to say is you pretty much, okay, it's divided into phases.
It's just
you give me the quick.
It's just bodybuilder. It's just cutting.
Okay, so do you think it's just eating protein?
I don't think it necessarily has to be. It's eating enough to spare the protein you get.
Okay. Oh, I gotcha. So the goal is you you retain. Okay, it says calories come mostly from lean protein foods. So that's how they're maintaining the lean muscle mass. Chicken, egg whites, tofu, or fish. Okay. In a clinically supervised PSMF, patients receive 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of their body weight, goal body weight per day.
Goal body weight.
That's, again, that's
so when you're 400 pounds, you don't get to eat 400 grams.
Right.
You get to eat 160.
For example, a person whose goal weight is 140 pounds, they would eat 76 to 95 grams of protein. So that's 64 kilograms. So they're running it off a kilogram.
So it's 76 to 95 grams of protein per day.
So that's about half a gram per pound of body weight then.
Yeah.
So that's really just all you're doing is maintaining. You're definitely not going to gain any muscle.
And it's only
with
like 285 to 350 calories.
Right.
It's
so
not
very low
much
calorie,
food.
very low calorie. So it's basically a variation on a fast. So it's like fasting, except for you're just eating a minimal amount of protein.
See, and people, the other thing, and I've mentioned this before, but it's all in the nomenclature. Mm-hmm. It's all sixes though. And when I say that, I mean, it's a fasting mimicking diet.
Right.
That's what other people will call it.
So whereas we talk about fasting in like either like a 20 hours and then eat for 4, daily, or like a 2-day or 3-day.
Just time restricted feeding.
Right. But they're talking about you doing this for 6 months at a time or up to 6 months.
For sure.
So really it's an extended way of kind of a variation on fasting.
Right. Well, it's a fasting mimicking diet.
Right.
So you're making your body think you're fasting.
Yep. All right. Well, now we know. PSMF, motherfuckers.
So to all those people out there,
Reminds me of the SMFs.
it's going to be
Twisted
hard.
Sister. Sick motherfuckers. Fans of Twisted Sister.
That wasn't me.
You're
I'm the quiet right guy.
We're in an SMF.
It's there's easier ways to do it.
Yeah. I've just heard that term a lot, and I just never knew what it meant. So that's what led me down that road.
No, I like it.
All right. So now we're going to get into our topic for the week. Now we're going to talk about some Hollywood actors and how they got all ripped, shredded, and jacked.
That's real, by the way.
But one thing that kind of led me down this road was body dysmorphia. And this seems to be at the root of a lot of this desire to transform. And I think it's something that everybody has to be really aware of. And this is what makes people get anorexic because they're standing there in the mirror.
I'm
with
so fat, and
right,
they're not.
They have like nothing.
But they really think they are.
They legit, they'd pass a lie detector test that they're overweight and they can be emaciated, single digit body fat, and still look in the mirror and think they're fat because maybe they have a little skin fold or something.
Right.
And they're not realizing that they're starving to death.
Right.
So
No, that's real.
yeah, so I think, that's something to really be aware of. And, it causes a lot of mental issues. And it's a way for people can kind of internalize trauma and things. And
But here's where I get in trouble, and especially on social media, is don't self-diagnose.
right.
Just don't.
Good point. Is that you?
It is.
Oh, okay. I heard some beeping and vibrating. All right. So body dysmorphia, that kind of got me down this road and then it kind of got down the rabbit hole of Hollywood actors. Okay. There's a whole list of these guys that have gotten shredded, jacked, ripped, and have gone through insane transformations for roles.
He did.
And okay, for those that are listening, we're looking at Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, sorry. I forget people don't actually watch
Now look at this motherfucker.
or listen.
Okay. Look how freaking huge he is, dude. And because he's doing like the 4th Thor movie right now. He just finished filming that, and then he's going to play Hulk Hogan in a
I heard that. I heard that.
And Hulk Hogan is massive,
Yeah.
right?
But
Way
so is
bigger
Chris.
He
How
didn't
tall
used
is-
to be. He
how-
didn't used to be though.
What? He didn't get shorter. He's 6'3".
Well, I mean, massive.
Oh, yeah.
muscle wise. So
That's Hulk Hogan too, isn't he? Or is he like 6'5"?
yeah, Hulk Hogan is what I meant was width,
Thick,
yeah,
thick with 3 C's.
the muscle massiveness, and Chris Hemsworth is crazy. So I wanted to talk about, if you look at, and here's the infamous "Don't skip leg day,"
His calves, yeah.
and the funny thing is, his brother called him out.
He did not.
Yeah, bro, you've been skipping leg days again.
Oh no. Read the caption though.
Holding my little man's hand and asking him the age-old question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Dad, I want to be Superman. Luckily, I have 2 other kids. That's good.
That was the best.
But look at his freaking arms, man. Massive.
You know what that is? That's goals.
Right. Okay. So that's exactly the discussion we're going to get into. So I want to look at a few of these dudes and talk about your average Joe, what you can expect, because people think they can replicate what this guy is doing and that they're going to end up looking like them. And I'm going to disagree with that.
Yes, they can and they can't. But there's more that goes into
Here's
that.
the other one that I saw that, Jesus Christ, look at that. Look at his freaking shoulders. Just beefy.
It's goals.
Right.
Makes me want to go flip a Twitter.
Right. And yeah, it's craziness. So
What did he say? What was the caption? Cheat day today?
oh yeah. Decided to treat myself to this extra large donut, and then he's pushing a giant tire.
Kick ass.
So
Good for him.
Yeah. He's definitely putting the work in.
Yep.
There's
Well, you still have to. He's still going to have professional trainers who are going to give him a frickin' physique cocktail that's going to help him cut. It's going to help him get big and strong.
Now let's talk about let's mention a few names here. So Hugh Jackman, right? The guy that played Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's
perfect example.
undergone a crazy transformation. The Rock, because really he wasn't that big when he was wrestling. He's massive now. Christian Bale went from crazy skinny in The Machinist to Batman.
Yeah, he really flip-flopped.
Yeah, because he's one of these like super method actors who lost a ton of weight, starved himself.
Yep.
Got super skinny and then got pretty jacked for Batman.
He did.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Oh, we gotta look at him. Okay.
Chris Pratt's another one.
Yeah. So let's see. I gotta find the. Okay, so look at this. Look at Chris Pratt. He was just a fat dude. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of your picture, your before picture.
Yeah, it does.
It's very similar, body comp. And then he got freaking, visible abs, got put on a lot of muscle.
Well, he turned into a dreamboat. He went from goofy, what was his name? Andy?
On Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went goofy Andy to
leading man stud.
to like, yeah.
Yeah. Like you'd believe that he's a romantic leading man.
To end up on a lot of wives' cancer list.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's another side benefit of leaning out is your face gets so much more attractive. And actually you're the living example of this because when you posted your marathon picture,
Great.
but
yeah.
you were in shape, sort of.
Decent shape,
you were running a
Right.
marathon, but your face was still round.
Right.
Still, but
Because it was puffy and bloated full of carbs.
exactly. So, that's one trick or a side effect, a benefit of leaning out is you become way more chiseled looking.
Right.
But we're going to get into when that goes extreme in a little bit here. I've got some examples, but Chris Pratt, a great example because he was like, you got Brad Pitt and these guys who were always in shape. Chris Pratt was not.
No.
Chris Pratt was
Well, it was
chubby.
part of the role. It's who he was.
He was
He was
chubby.
the goofy guy on Parks and Rec.
But that he could have had a career of doing that his whole career. But he said, I want to get some of this Marvel action.
Right. So what's bigger? Chris Pratt Parks and Rec or Chris Pratt Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh yeah. Shit. Millions of difference.
Buff Chris Pratt in Guardians.
Yep. And
People say, "Oh, it's just a bigger movie and it's more people. Has nothing to do with what he looks like.
Oh, shit. At this point,
Here.
what you realize is their physiques are their currency. That is their value.
100%.
Right. So then that's what makes it tough for your average Joe, because you think, well, you subconsciously that has an effect on you. And, you talk about the Kardashians and, women having these impossible beauty standards. This is the male version of that.
For sure.
You look at Brad Pitt, you look at Chris Pratt and Wolverine and The Rock, and you go, well, that's the pinnacle. I have to look
That's
like
the pinnacle for that movie that they trained 12 weeks for to get in that shape, just for that role, shoot the movie, and then they go back to just
a little bit softer,
being a little more normal. Yeah. But you know what else it does? Whether it's Chris Pratt, because guess what? He got buffed for Jurassic Park, I think it was, before Guardians.
Yeah, he was lean. He was pretty leaned out and muscular.
But guess what? It's a drug.
Right.
Because when I got
literal,
right,
figurative.
No, but no, the feedback.
Oh yeah.
Like the first time ever at work, I met a guy from a vendor, came in out of state and said, "Hey, I want to take your sales team to dinner." So we went and had dinner, and at Lucky's 13, I love that place. Mm-hmm. Anyways, they have elk burgers.
Well, yeah. So
we're sitting there, and we're bullshitting, chit chatting, and he says, "What do you guys do for fun?" And then he got around to me, and he said, "How about you, besides workout?"
Right.
Dude, you crave that.
Right. Yeah, you want people to notice.
People just want people. I hear people all the time. I'm like, okay, what, working with people as far as nutrition goes, what are your goals? What do you want? I want to look like I work out.
Right.
People say that to me all the time. I just want to look like I work out.
Yeah. Because it's the smaller version of that currency that Chris Pratt and The Rock have developed. Mm-hmm. It's just the local version of that.
Right.
And just like, the Kardashians want to get praised, they get praised all the time, and women want to emulate that. They want to have the fat ass or whatever is currently trending, within the impossible female beauty standards. But the trick is, or the thing that's important to understand, is the level of what's achievable.
Right.
Because I don't care who you are, how much you work out, you're not going to look like The Rock, because there's a missing ingredient there. It's a bunch of fucking steroids. Literally.
In Hollywood.
Literally.
In Hollywood for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Rock, there's not a one of these guys that did this 100% natty.
No, and they'll admit it.
There's not a one.
No.
So that's what you need to understand.
But there are regular Joes walking around that do.
And if regular Joe was hired to play, Guardian of the whatever the guy's name in Guardian of the Galaxy, or Batman or whatever, he would look like a puny weakling compared to
sure,
Hugh Jackman,
he doesn't get
The Rock,
not necessarily.
Chris Hemsworth. Dude, you take the biggest natty guy you can find that builds natural muscle, they're going to look like a puny weakling compared to Chris Hemsworth.
I disagree. Chris, he's not that big.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah, I saw it, but it's all relative. There are guys.
Right.
There's guys at Metroflex right now that big easily.
That's a local gym.
Yep.
And they don't do any. They're not on any test, not any HGH. You're saying there?
No, I didn't say that. I just said they're regular Joes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because all I do is eat meat. Right. I'm not. Caffeine is the only supplement or whatever.
But you gotta.
I don't know where the line is.
What
you call
component? But
there is completely. And I think these guys have to be genetically at an insane starting point.
Sure.
And then you add the roids on top and an insane amount of training. And that's because I don't want to shit on these guys. Because you can't just
work. Yeah.
You can't take a bunch of steroids and just look like that
and sit on the couch.
It's everything maxed.
Right.
The diet, the genetics, the steroids, the training. It's all 110%.
Sure.
And that's the only way you get that big. And that's how Arnold got that big.
Yeah. But I think that picture is probably a little misleading. I think. But it could be me. I just don't think he's that big of a dude. I think it's maybe
then The Rock or whatever. Any of these guys.
Yeah.
There's not a one of these guys that's natty.
Rock is a specimen.
And he was always
former
beefy,
football player.
but
yeah.
he was always big. So he had the genetic component.
Yep.
But then he started jacking it.
Especially now at
50
at
or
our
48
age.
or-
Yeah.
yeah, he's our age, which is insane. So what you have
But
to
look at
understand,
Chris there in that suit. The next picture over.
right? And I don't know when that was, but
He's just a regular guy.
well,
In a
let me
suit.
stand next to him and see what
He's
how
in
it
a
looks.
suit. He's not. You don't.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Arnold.
Don't kid yourself. In that picture of him with the other dude in his tank top there,
Yep.
he just got done lifting.
Oh yeah,
He's not just walking around
got
like
pumped
that.
up
Yeah.
for the scene or whatever. Yeah, well, that's the other thing you got to understand too is when you're like these guys, they look ahead in the script and they see, oh, shirtless scene. Oh shit. That's what they're training for is that one page,
Shoulders.
right?
Yep.
They're
Shoulders
training
and
for that
arms.
page.
Shoulders and arms.
Yep.
Endless. That's why his calves look like a little girl.
Right, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
When you got the Thor costume on,
Yep.
all that matters is the shoulders
So,
and arms and having a small
we'll just
waist.
we'll just CGI that.
Right. So yeah, but I just want to make sure that regular Joes understand that if you're looking at that picture of Chris Hemsworth and Wolverine and The Rock, if you set that as your goal, you're gonna fail unless you're also doing the roids.
I would disagree on Wolverine. That's achievable.
You think?
Oh yeah, he's not that big.
I think when in the first movie,
I bet you I'm bigger than him.
he was pretty, reasonable, but then he got freaking insanely veined out.
Well, he's lean
crazy
and ripped,
jacked.
but he's not like
Okay,
Lou Ferrigno.
I'm going to bring you to a crazy one. Well, also, here's the other thing too. And if you want to, for more on, obviously we're idiots on this stuff. We're just completely
Right.
talking out of our ass.
Oh, for sure.
We're just bro talking this stuff.
Yep.
Follow a guy called More Plates, More Dates on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah,
does
yeah.
natty or not stuff, and he does TRT clinics, and
I need to watch him.
he's really good. And he can point out like how to tell.
Oh, like features.
Right. Like there's the thing called gyno. Which your nipples get puffy.
Yeah, but then they just get an estrogen blocker.
Yeah, or you can actually chop it out. Like some guys have to have surgery. Like if they don't have everything dialed in
Breast
perfect,
reduction.
pretty much, because it's the estrogen level gets screwy.
Well, they're taking thousands of milliliters.
Right? It's wacky, man. Okay, the craziest one of all though is freaking this guy.
Yeah, you mentioned
Kumail-
me to him. I don't know who the hell this guy is.
Okay, this guy Kumail Nanjiani. He was in Silicon Valley. That's where I saw him. He's from Pakistan. He was just kind of like the standard computer nerd, soft,
still is.
skinny fat, right? Skinny fat, and he just got freaking jacked because he got a Marvel role.
He did?
Yeah, he's in Eternal. Marvel's The Eternals, which is coming out like this year or next year or something. So he said, "Oh shit, I need to undergo one of those transformations everybody's talking about, like Chris Pratt and Hemsworth and everybody."
I don't know. He doesn't look like he's using.
Dude,
Maybe.
you,
I don't know.
okay, this is when he first got jacked. Okay, after it took about a year,
Yep.
and he worked his ass off. Again, it's not like he just injected the test,
The serum.
HGH, and then ended up like this one day. He worked his ass off.
Captain America.
He worked his ass off. Okay, now, but the funny thing is he was so skinny fat and just regular before.
Yeah.
Now,
No, he's a superhero.
the weird thing is, okay, so that's his first, and everybody watch this on YouTube, so you can see all these examples. Look at his freaking face. Look at his jaw. It's
Yeah.
frighteningly bigger. And I did a little bit of research on this.
HGH makes your head bigger.
Exactly. And it increases the mandible and the bone density and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And look at his freaking face. It looks like a different dude.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he threw that pie away.
that's him before. And here's him when he was a skinny, fat nerd. And look at his face. And that's a different face.
Yeah, from
And
left
that's not
to
just
right,
leaning out.
Because
Because he wasn't really overweight like
there's
Chris
help
Pratt.
there.
He wasn't like Chris Pratt, super fat. He was just kind of a skinny fat guy.
Yeah.
Standard vegan physique,
Yep.
But then look at his freaking jaw. I mean, he's assistant CEO of Jawline.
I was. Here's the thing.
And it's funny because he gets shamed for this because people are calling him out. And then there was accusations of, it's racist because he's Pakistani. And why don't you do this to all the white people? Well, if you look at Chris Hemsworth's Instagram, every other comment is like, steroids. I mean,
must be nice.
Everybody gets called out.
Steroids.
They all get called out. So it's not because he's Pakistani. I think it's actually more impressive because he started out so genetically
disadvantaged.
Exactly. So actually it's even more impressive. But
you know what though? Here's my thing. Is he competing in a sport or a competition where he's signing a piece of paper that says I'm not doing drugs?
No.
If not, fucking who cares?
Right.
Knock yourself out, dude.
Okay.
If it's just for movies or aesthetics, who gives a shit?
I agree. Except for then as a regular Joe, don't expect to achieve those same results.
No.
I don't care. It's not like he's Lance Armstrong.
I agree. Right.
And he's like allegedly supposed to be natural. Like all those cyclists were all fucking doping.
Well,
here's so hilarious.
Here's the thing. Joe Cubicle.
Yes, I'm listening.
The difference between you and that guy isn't just steroids.
No, exactly.
There's a whole bunch of other shit in between there.
Well, like I said, it's genetics, diet, working out, and the steroids all have to be at 100%.
Working out and diet. You don't just get to go and do a couple sets of bench.
Okay, you want to see another one, bro? Check out Zac Efron, okay?
I don't think he's...
Look at that jaw. Now, here's the other thing, too. You never know whether it's plastic surgery or, HGH or test or something like that.
But what is, if he had plastic surgery, what's he changing?
Well, he can have
he just got older.
Like jaw implants.
I don't, why his jaw's the same.
You think?
Yeah. He's leaner. He's leaner on the right.
Well, but he just changed in the last year or two because the leanest he ever was in that Baywatch movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mel would have told you that.
I'm searching Zac Efron Baywatch right now. Okay, so
I hope this isn't a community shared computer.
Okay, so there's some, I mean, he looks and the thing is, he's not that big.
No,
he's just super lean.
He's for sure had some
but
help.
His face,
he had supplemental help.
But his face,
there's no question,
looks different to me. Something looks up with his face, man.
I don't know.
Just around the mouth and the jaw. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So I found this article, How to Spot a Steroid User.
Jesus.
Look at that fucker. Holy shit.
No, he's using, for sure.
Fast transformation. So that's,
is it quick?
A lot of these actors, they go, well, see, the thing is they kind of lie to you by omission. Like you said, they're not 100% saying I'm natural. They say, oh, I worked out a lot and ate chicken and broccoli and rice.
And then they have the interview on ABC on Good Morning America. And then before the interview comes on, they look at Michael Strahan and they say, you can't ask him if he fucking does drugs.
Right.
You'll never get another interview
Yep.
if you say, did you have help with steroids?
Well, Michael Strahan of all people kind of know that because he can't either,
Right.
So one indicator is how quickly they transform. Because here's the thing. Well, here's where it's important to the Joe Cubicle who's working out in their home gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand how much muscle you can possibly put on in a year or in a certain period of time.
What's even physically possible.
No matter how much you eat. Let's say you're doing for a full bulk, your surplus of calories of pure protein every day, and you're just nailing the gym. What is possible in a year? How many pounds of muscle can you put on? It's like not that much. It's like 5 to 10 pounds of actual lean muscle mass that you can put on.
But yeah, and that's where the steroids come in. Because remember, steroids aren't making you big. They're steroids that. This without getting super nerdy, because
They allow your body to recover quickly.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So you just are allowed to lift more and more often.
Yep.
And more frequent.
Yeah, it doesn't get you out of the lifting.
No. And it definitely doesn't make those muscles bigger or stronger.
Right.
Lifting does.
Yep.
Now you just get to do it more.
So that's one key is and that's the only reason I care about this. I don't give a shit what somebody
That 2006 to 2009, that guy, there's no way he would look you in the face and deny it.
No shit. But
Whoa, wait a second. He lost the muscle.
Yeah. I think because he
stopped using.
Must stop. Yep, exactly.
So now that's just his natural state.
That's a lot of these guys, like MMA guys and stuff, when they retire, they all of a sudden just totally melt.
Like NFL offensive linemen.
Like here it says, in a few months, you can't go from 0 to Captain America hero in a time frame of a few months. An average entry-level lifter can gain up to 2 or 3 pounds of pure muscle. It's possible to get more, but without the dreaded vitamin S, nothing spectacular will happen overnight.
No.
Okay, so acne or backne, that's another big indicator. Huge, ripped, and strong. See, a lot of times guys will be strong, like power lifters, and they'll be big, but not usually super low body fat. So when you see a huge guy that's super veiny, massive muscles, and super lean, and they can lift a ton, that's usually like an indicator that they're on the juice, baby.
Uh-huh.
Stretch marks, okay, because your skin can't keep up with the speed at which your muscle's growing. Dun, dun, dun. Man boobs. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Gyno, bitch tits, man tits. You know what I'm talking about. Yep.
He must have had the surgery.
It says, as guys, we have both testosterone and estrogen hormones for our bodies. That's just how Mother Nature created us. Luckily for us, we tend to have up to 20 times more test than estrogen. However, when you start playing mad scientists and suddenly go from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde, weird things happen to your body, such as that extra testosterone you shoot up your ass gets turned into estrogen by your body, and bam, you're a Girls Gone Wild contestant.
Or you get an estrogen blocker.
Right. Oh, here we go. PS1 graphics character jawline.
See, here's the problem with that 2014 to 16. To go from on the left where he's a little vascular and he does have the outlines of muscle, that's not that big of a transformation.
I don't
left
think,
to right in 2 years, that's not.
Yep. Okay, but here's what the point he's making is at a certain age, your body stops growing. If you end up being 5'5" with a huge nose, though, tough luck because those are the hands you're dealt with. When you use steroids, your body once again starts receiving this loud message of grow.
Oh.
So guys can really overdo it, have a tendency to have thicker bones, maybe even a longer face, and of course the jawline, even the crimson chin would envy.
And penis?
So I see the cartoon character. So that's the point he's making, and that's why the jawline looks so different. And he looks like normal, skinny fat nerd to what the fuck?
It looks
like I want to get a measurement like of millimeters from side to side and see what the difference is, because holy shit.
So he goes from Silicon Valley startup to MMA fighter.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty scary looking now. So
I think he looks better.
You like the guy on the right? I just don't like seeing people's faces change like that.
Why? What did you hear?
I mean, to me, like I think people in Hollywood just have a tough time aging gracefully too, and they resort to plastic surgery and things when I don't feel it's necessary. Like it's just okay to just be old, but it's not, I guess, in Hollywood, or they feel like it's not. They feel like they have to combat it.
You said it's their currency.
So for us as the average Joes, I just want people to understand what's possible.
Don't listen to Josh. Just go work out.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Do work out, because what I'm worried about is people will see this as achievable, then they'll try to go after looking like The Rock. They won't get there, and then they just give up.
Well, then they didn't lean on somebody who knows to get guidance and advice.
What you need to do is set your expectations realistically. Like if
well, it's a SMART goal. Isn't the R realistic?
Right.
for goals. Is the goal realistic?
Right. But the problem is they're on Good Morning America saying, I just ate some broccoli and chicken breasts and worked out a lot. Mm-hmm. And they never talk about,
But here's the problem.
Injected this and
But
this
here's
and this.
well, yeah, but here's the problem. Joe Cubicle doesn't even do that.
No, of course.
So
Yeah, most don't ever.
doesn't even really matter.
No. Right. But, I used to think, well, funny, you ask most guys, do you know what the number one body type most guys want to be if they could pick one? And we haven't mentioned him yet. Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Really?
That's what most people want to be.
He's
not that big.
He's anorexic.
He's just very lean.
Yeah.
Right. That is achievable. It's
Oh,
funny
for sure.
the More Plays, More Dates guy
Yep.
did a Natty or Not on Brad Pitt in Fight Club, and he said, "Oh yeah, you can definitely pull that off." So make that your goal.
Right.
That's achievable. But you stand Brad Pitt in Fight Club up next to The Rock, and he looks like a wimp.
He looks like Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club or whatever it's called.
So you got to set your expectations to where it's something you can actually achieve. And if you want to be The Rock, then understand you're going to have to work out like however many hours a day. You're going to have to eat like crazy, and you're going to have to find some substances. And if that's what you want to do, I don't care. But just don't go around on Good Morning America telling everybody,
you can do
it's
it
just
too.
chicken and broccoli, just chicken and broccoli.
You can do it too.
Yeah, you can do this with just chicken and broccoli because that's setting people up for failure. Right. And then they just give up working out and say, F it. Whereas, now
how they skirt around the question is, I had a wonderful trainer.
Wonderful trainer.
What does that trainer do?
They can't help but do the air quotes while they're doing it.
Yep.
Well, that's a funny thing too. Is you meant when we were talking about doing this episode, you talked about all these trainers that are knowingly just juicing guys.
Yep.
And then they're talking about eating chicken broccoli. The actor is, and the next thing you know, they're working with that trainer. It's
exact trainer.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. It's not hard to connect it.
That's the exact guy that juiced The Rock. And,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a small world out there.
Yep.
I mean,
for sure, especially in that space.
They probably literally say, "Who got The Rock in shape? I want that guy."
The movie producers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they know that's their currency.
In order to get this role, you're going to have to work with Joe Trainer. Yeah, and you're going to have to achieve this. But first, we're going to have Joe Trainer come look at you with your shirt off to see if it's possible.
Right. And how far out we need to push production.
Yep. To see if it's even remotely genetically possible.
Another one was Bradley Cooper, I think. See, and this one pissed me off.
He got kind of chubby, though.
He did.
American Sniper.
But he said he gained like
40 pounds
of muscle, is what he said, in like 8 weeks. It's like, dude.
No, you didn't.
You
gained 8 pounds
of muscle
in 8 weeks. No, he gained 8 pounds in 8 weeks.
Oh, I thought you meant fat wise. He put on like
he did
20, but
no. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, what I was saying realistically is he could gain 8 pounds in 8 weeks.
Exactly.
But just weight, not muscle.
Exactly, right. I mean, and he did. I mean, he looked good in the movie. He looked, pretty strong. But
I do remember I do remember reading the article that he put on 40 pounds for the role.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Probably did, but.
All right, well.
Fluff.
That's all we got for this week, guys. So, set your expectations realistically, but don't make that stop you from working out and setting goals. Just they have to be realistic.
Yep.
That's what I say.
And then talk to people. Find out what is realistic.
Well, and again, I'm not shitting on anybody that uses whatever because I don't care what you do.
Right.
Just don't lie to me about it. People have, like you were talking about having low test, and there's like amounts that get you up to regular level that your body's supposed to be producing. Mm-hmm. And then there's the guys that go, crank it, bitch.
Right.
And everything's on
when I went in, I can say it. When I went in, I was like 270 something.
And you're supposed to be like what?
350 is
350 bottom of the range.
350 is bottom, 950 is top. So this will give some people out there some frame of reference. Mm-hmm. I was at 270 something. The 276 keeps popping in my head, but I was at 276. 350 is the bottom end of normal. 950 is the top end of normal. I got the prescription from my doctor for 10 milliliters once a week.
Now, was that like an injection, oral?
Yep, injection.
Okay.
Yep. So I do it once a week, 10 milliliters. I went back in just 10 milliliters a week. And I went back in after 6 months, and I was 1,100.
Holy shit.
So,
and basically, you were just replacing what your body normally.
Exactly, because here's where people listening are going to go, "Holy shit!
Right?
He's doing steroids." Remember when I said 10 milliliters?
Yep.
Write that down. 10. The number 10.
Yeah, that's tiny compared to what these guys are doing.
These guys are doing 2,000 every fucking day. Let that sink in.
Yeah. It's insane.
TRT is just getting you back to normal. It's like having a bad thyroid and you take thyroid meds.
So if you're at 1,100, do they take you down to like 8
Yep.
or something to try to get you in that range?
I asked to go down.
Because they don't want you going to the gym and kicking bars out of people's
It's not going to make any difference. If you research TRT, the amount of testosterone, you're just replacing it.
Yeah, right.
So,
but let's say you're at 11, let's say you're at 2,000, your tested level was that high. Would you go, does it make you more rage-filled and aggressive, or would it?
I don't know. Probably not. But it's not enough. It's not like what these guys are taking.
No.
So, if you do the research on TRT, like 7th on the list is maintain muscle mass.
Right.
If you do TRT, the goal is to maintain muscle mass, not gain it. Mm-hmm. And it's like 7th on the list. The other ones are way more important,
right?
Like mental clarity and kicking sleepiness. But that's way up there. That does.
Well, now it is.
Yeah, that could be a whole other show. That is far more noticeable than the muscle gain.
Right. And life changing for sure.
Yeah. So my message is check out TRT because you're not cheating. You're not cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself by not going, especially if you're low. If you're sluggish in the afternoon, like 2:30, and you're like, oh, I could use another cup of coffee. Yeah. Sex drive isn't exactly what it used to be or what you want it to be.
Right.
Those are all signs. Get checked. What's the worst that could happen?
Right. Why not?
I thought there's no way. I was thick. I had muscle mass. I was still strong as hell.
Yeah.
And, the interest in sex didn't really decline. I mean, when I was in my 20s, it was every freaking day.
Right.
But it didn't really change that much. Mm-hmm. And then somebody said what I'm saying right now and just said, hey, just get checked. And I did. And I was like,
surprised.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what we said last week or the week before, or we say it all the time. You don't know how bad you feel until you do.
Right. Right. Yeah. Because once you felt in the normal range, it was like, holy shit.
Yeah. And you don't, and you don't realize, people think testosterone, they think boners and muscles. Yep. But what they don't understand is all of the other functions it's responsible for in the male body.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a good lesson. You need to, just like everything with diet and all this stuff, you need to know where you stand. What are your current numbers?
Right.
If you don't know what your numbers are, then you can't take steps to change it.
Yep.
I wonder if there's guys out that are naturally like way too high.
There are.
And do they have to
there's people
adjust it down?
No. Oh, I don't know. Probably not. They're
That's
just natural.
Very rare, right?
And it's not a synthetic version. They're making it, so whatever.
Yeah, but they call it bioidentical or like the stuff that you put in.
Right. But I've urged people like I am now to go get checked, and they have. And they said, no, I'm good.
Right. I should do that. I wonder if, is that just part of a normal physical?
No.
You have to ask.
You got to ask, and they have to do it. Yeah, so you have to
but it's
embellish.
Just a blood draw, right?
Yep, it's just a blood draw, but they have to send it to Mayo.
So you just pretty much got to say, my dick don't work.
Insurance probably won't cover it. But it's still worth it.
Lame.
It's still worth it.
That's pretty lame.
It is, but it's worth it. And just go to get it done.
There's your takeaway for the week. All right, we got to wrap it up. I got to get to my kid's band concert.
Fun. That's right in your wheelhouse, band nerd.
Yeah, I know. He's playing trumpet though. So we're gonna go watch that. So we're gonna wrap it up here. So make sure you email us at info@fitandfurious.com. Watch on YouTube to check out the shenanigans, valuable visuals, and weekly extra content. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get audio podcasts. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share. Go to furiousmerch.com. That's furiousmerch.com for t-shirts. And we will see you next week.